What's up, guys? Regiment in this podcast is brought to you by G Fuel, the ultimate energy drink for gamers. G Fuel uses a special blend of vitamins, antioxidants, and other natural caffeine resources to keep you from having those jitters or even that crash that you normally would have from other energy drink brands. So whether you're having a long gaming session or you're just having a long day and need a pick-me-up, G Fuel definitely has you covered. G Fuel also has a wide array of flavors to choose from. But if you don't know what flavor you want to try, they also sell variety packs on their website, and they even come with a cool shaker. So head on over to gfuel.com and use promo code Regiment at checkout to get up to 30% off. That is Regiment, promo code Regiment down here at checkout to get up to 30% off. Airman who went viral for wearing high heels and a furry costume is identified. The viral video of the airman was recorded while he was at a tech school in Kessler Air Force Base in February of 2023. He's in tech school, so it was right after boot camp? According to the Nova Campaign's Twitter X account, Mathlin's command originally prohibited him from wearing his costume on duty, but has since been given permission. This is why people can't take us fucking seriously. The whole thing right here, doing this shit in uniform, man. Come on. So a screenshot of the wear and appearance guidelines for the base states that it includes, but is not limited to furry animal suits. This is insane.
Excuse me? That's in the guidelines?
This is insane.
There was enough of it being done that it's actually in the guidelines?
It's in the guidelines. I expect this from the Navy.
See, everyone says that, and yet here we are.
Here we are. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Smoke Pit Podcast. Hopefully soon we'll no longer be what we're called. But
I know you've been hearing that for a year, but
I know.
It may actually be coming down.
We finally have graphics that are currently being finalized, which is farther than we've gotten in the last year. So it's definitely, besides the new name we picked, getting the graphics has been the biggest challenge. And I've even gone as far as try to make my own, but I'm not a graphic designer, so I can't, I obviously am not the qualified person to be doing such thing. But no, we finally have, a good logo that will be implemented soon. We just got to get some finalized things done. We're gonna have a meeting about it later, though,
as well as a new name, which is also been a year.
I think last time we had an episode was before the holidays. Yeah, it was before the holidays. It's a new year, new me, baby.
Was it? No, it wasn't. No. It was after.
Are you sure? I'll look.
Yeah.
Sure? You sure about that?
Yeah, because we talked about what we did for Christmas and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, we didn't. It was before. Oh yeah, I think it was before I went hunting.
Yes.
Which I'm really sad. Big sad that I didn't get anything during.
I remember we talked about that too. I'm pretty sure that's in the video where I was like, watch this be the one time where you go and you don't get anything, because you're like, I get a deer every time I go hunting. I'm like, it's going to be the time that you don't get anything. Yeah. And lo and behold, here we are.
Here we fucking are. I posted that on the 4th of January. So I posted it after I got back. Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't remember when we recorded it.
We recorded it after Christmas, and I posted it after New Year's.
Okay, so it's in between. So it wasn't quite New Year's yet.
Correct.
I don't know. All my time just going together.
And I also I fucked up the intro.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
I'm hoping that the viewers didn't catch it, but I fucked the intro up. I was editing. And I had just gotten back from hunting. I was tired. I was trying to get the episode out before, it was too late in the week. And I ended up putting the fucking intro in twice.
I mean, it was pretty hard to miss.
It was very hard to miss. It was right in the middle of the fucking G Fuel.
The G Fuel logo came in out of nowhere, and then I was like, wait.
Here's what happened, right? So I usually start the video off with the G Fuel logo. And then right after that, I go into our clip and then the intro. So what I did was I was like, oh, wait, I should make a clip after I'd put the intro in. So I moved it. And then I made the clip, put it after the promo, but forgot that I moved the intro and just added it again. So I didn't move it away from where it was. I just left it there and then added the intro again, which is my bad. I'll do better. Please don't fire me. So yeah, I hope everyone had a good New Year. 2024 starting off. You know, it's starting off. I just had to get my roof fixed today. We had some winter storms that came in that was blowing the fucking ridge cap off of my roof. And I'm sitting here, me and Alicia are panicking that we're going to be spending an arm and a leg to get this roof fixed. Thankfully, it was only like $200. So it was, and they didn't have to replace they didn't have to replace the whole thing. They just had to fix what was missing. And I basically just paid for the material and like a little bit of the labor. It took them like 30 minutes to fix it. It wasn't even that long.
Can't relate.
I know you can't relate because you don't have a house, but one day when you do have a house, you will relate. So
nope, that's not where I was going with that. It's because we didn't get any snow.
Oh, it wasn't the snow; it was the wind.
Either way,
we had a little bit of snow. Like honestly, there's probably like an inch or two of snow outside, and there's been some massive snowstorms throughout the entire country, including like throughout the state.
So I've heard.
And we were supposed to get like massively dumped on with lake effect. They were talking like up to 13 inches of snow, and it ended up just raining the whole time.
I'm so glad I'm not there anymore.
And it did. It just fucking rained the whole time. It was too warm to snow. If you went maybe 20 minutes west, they got dumped on. But here we are right by the lake, and it was just raining.
I think it started like right as I was leaving the IW conference, because there was people that were getting like stranded and rerouted, canceled. Like,
I'm sure it was happening around then. Yeah. Cause that's roughly about when it all happened. So,
cause there was 2 people that just got home like yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
Didn't you just get back from that like a week ago?
Sunday.
Sunday. So it's been like 6 days.
Yeah.
And they're just getting back like yesterday?
Yeah.
They got delayed that long, huh?
I think they were somewhere where it was really bad.
They had
probably where it snows a lot.
I heard Buffalo, like anywhere around New York area, was pretty fucked.
That's probably where they were.
But by us, like Chicago, and then it got insanely cold. Like it was negative 10 degrees without the wind.
That's it. It's rookie numbers.
With the wind, it was like negative 30, negative 40, and it was like insanely high winds. Dude,
it's not even the record.
That shit sucked. I salted my driveway, and it did nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I don't miss any of that.
I was kind of looking forward to snow a little bit because we haven't gotten a good snowfall in a while. And
good snowfall.
I got lucky. My teacher, because school started this week for me, and that's when the snow was really hitting. So I'm going back through my CMP exam for my disability to get my knees, back, and hips looked at. And my appointment was the day that we were supposed to get the worst of it. And they ended up closing their office that day, so I am not having to go.
I don't want to live in a place where it hurts my face.
You know what? Honestly, I'll take the cold over the heat. The more I've been thinking about it more and more lately, and I can layer up, dude, but I cannot fucking take my skin off.
Yeah, but I mean, outside, I don't give a shit if it's hot outside. If I got air conditioning, that's fine. That's all I need.
I found that an air conditioning bill is significantly higher than a gas bill from heating your house. Every summer, if we have a
gas bill,
dude, if we have a hot summer, my bill is double what it normally is. If it's a really cold winter, my bill doesn't even come close to what the summertime bill is. The electrical cost is way higher than the gas cost. So I'll take the cold because of that.
That's debatable. That depends on where you are, I guess.
Maybe it does, but that's just what I have in my house. So anyway, before we digress too much, let's talk about some of our topics first. We got some interesting topics this week, mostly involving a lot, actually. It doesn't really, every branch has gotten a piece, except for the Marine Corps today.
They'll make their full circle.
Yeah, and in fact, one of our topics isn't even about the U.S. Navy. So a British Navy sailor was fired for posting OnlyFans content from the ship.
Yeah, but of course it's still a sailor, right?
It's still a sailor, and who knows what kind of content it was. I'm more thinking that he's like beating it off in the fucking in his bunk.
Probably homo content, which is
Uh,
fine.
Maybe
But
not.
of course
Maybe,
it's in
maybe
the
not.
Navy though.
It's very rare. It's not very common for a dude to be an OnlyFans creator.
Look at that piece of shit carrier though.
Why? Because it's Navy.
Inferior.
It's got a ramp too.
Ship.
It's got a ramp. Imagine that you don't like when you're landing on this thing and the fucking catch cable doesn't get you and you just fucking get yeeted off the ramp at the end.
That happens a lot.
No, I'm sure it does.
On carriers, like if they don't get it,
Well, yeah, if they don't get it,
just
like
keep going, go back around.
Well, or they just fall off the back. But I mean, you could kind of like quick take off and go, but like this fucking ramp, dude, I'm sure that fucks with the aerodynamics a lot. Anyway, that's a whole different topic for later. Next topic. Army employee at Texas installation. I'm willing to bet this is either Bliss or Hood. Is accused of stealing $103 million from the Army.
You mean Liberty?
Yeah, Liberty's not in Texas. Liberty's in North Carolina.
Oh.
Liberty's Fort Bragg. Fort Bragg is.
Oh, yeah. I don't know my Army base.
It's Fort Bragg. I know you don't. And that's okay. But yeah, an Army employee at Texas. What installation was it?
We'll find out.
We'll find out when we read it. I don't really want to read into it too much right now. But yeah, I'm really. Oh my God! Allegedly, she bought a $3.1 million property in Maryland. Damn.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. I want to see more about this. Some news in the gaming world. MSI has a new monitor, a 240 hertz 4K OLED monitor that uses AI that turns you into League of Legends God. But I'm assuming that this doesn't just, work for League of Legends. I'm sure we'll dive more into what the tech is. I guarantee it's a little bit more than that. I'm curious to that. What is using the AI in what way?
It's really interesting. It's basic. So I think they just used League of Legends in this example.
Probably.
For like the showcase or something. And I saw a level cap video on it, and he had some footage of it. And it's basically, it's going to change the cheating realm significantly, because it's going to cause people to be able to cheat without any extra hardware
or software.
Yes. Because it's just going to be AI that's fucking learning the game.
It's in your
and helping you out.
And it's in your monitor, so there's no software for the anti-cheat to probe.
Exactly.
Interesting. Well, let's dive more into that. Speaking of cheating, Call of Duty Warzone's having some serious issues after the latest update. Now, apparently they fixed this, but the update apparently made the game absolutely unplayable.
They updated in a way that like you couldn't. Update is a strong word. They literally broke it. Yeah, there was no update about this.
No, they broke the fucking game. We'll dive more into that when we get to it. Back to military news. A soldier disappeared from social media after her command saw what she did with her husband.
Did she peg him?
No. It is funny though. I read. I was like, this. I started. Okay, I've been looking into some of the articles before I send them to you because I don't want them to be like sound like there's something and then they be stupid.
Fucking bait again.
More bait.
For popular military.
I've been vetting them lately to make sure they're not bait posts because and some that I was gonna send you ended up being bait posts, so I didn't send them to you. Back to gaming. Ubisoft strikes again for being the biggest pieces of shit in gaming, or at least one of them. So Ubisoft executive says gamers need to get comfortable with not owning your games. You will own nothing and be happy. Ubisoft director of subscriptions says that gamers need to start feeling comfortable with not owning the games they're playing. And here's the thing. The fucking disappearance of physical media is a slippery slope, because if you looked, and PlayStation ended up walking this back, but like when they said that all your stuff on your library that's Discovery related will be deleted, even if you purchased it and it's just downloaded and purchased, they were going to delete it from your library. So like Mythbusters and all that shit, if you bought it and just downloaded it, they were going to delete it and not refund you.
So in this, when it says director of subscriptions, I can understand that sense, because if you pay for, sometimes we're kind of forced regardless, but if you play your games through subscription, I mean, that's kind of the tit for tat that you're taking with that.
And this is why I think physical media needs to come back, because, or needs to stick around. And it's because, like, what if something happens? You can't afford to fucking keep paying for a subscription. Money's really tight, but you want to still play your games. And yet you can't because you're not subscribed anymore. But you have this single player game that requires no online access, like The Witcher, for example. You're playing The Witcher, and then you find out, well, I don't physically own this game, so now I can't play it. It's just, I don't know. It's a slippery slope, and I'm not really totally on board with it. Next topic is back to
hardballing down that slope for a while.
So the next topic, video emerges of alleged soldier involved in a shootout during a road rage incident. And the reason why I sent this to you, because it is the most boot fucking thing a person could do. We'll dive into it when we get to it.
I think I saw another video. I think Angry Cops talked about this. Maybe another military person I cover talked about it.
Well, like I said, we'll dive into it when we get to it. And our last topic, and it's a very fucking Air Force thing to do. Airman who went viral for wearing high heels and furry costume is identified. And there's even a picture of it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm all for people doing what they want to do what makes you happy. But if you're going to fucking do this in uniform, please don't. Please don't.
Is it me, or does that look like a Blue Falcon?
It is a Blue Falcon, kinda. The
irony,
dude. I don't fucking know, man. And
is that a dude?
I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll find out when we get to the identification part of it. And there's even a.
That's got to be a fake ass,
no,
right?
It's a dude.
No way.
It's a dude.
Okay.
And the video in question is,
it's got a tail.
I see the video in question. They're walking through the barracks in high heels and uniform, wearing the furry hat.
I feel like I've seen that.
Listen,
I may have seen this.
I've said before, I'm all for doing what makes you happy when you're off duty. Don't do this shit in uniform. Please don't do this shit in uniform. AR 670-1 exists for a fucking reason, okay? And I'm pretty sure a furry costume is not part of the fucking regulation. But that's just me, And people will probably say that, like, oh, you're just a fucking, you just don't like people, like, living their life, and, you're a phobe of XYZ, and I'm like, no, it's a professional standard, like, we are
freedom of expression.
Freedom of expression. Guess what? If we can't fucking actually talk about, like, how we actually feel about politics in uniform, you shouldn't be able to wear a fucking bird costume in uniform. Just saying.
I mean, that commander wore his dog costume.
No, the commander was not in costume. If you look at the post, it says, with my commander, he is a stellar person. The commander is the one with the blurred out face.
No. The one, this was a while back, that I think we talked about it. He was like he wore a command. It was like his command photo for his.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about. The command photo, like, in their furry outfit with their uniform.
Yeah.
And we wonder why our enemies laugh at us. Why the fucking,
Yes.
And
he's why this airman thought this was okay.
It might be why the fucking Houthis attack the Navy, because they're just like, they do the weirdest shit, so they're weaker,
Hey, first of all, this was an airman. I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Even still.
We're just out here making OnlyFans content, all right?
And it wasn't even our Navy. So, but even still, yes, wearing your furry outfit for your DOD photo is a move for sure. Regiment in this podcast is also partnered with BR Paradox. BR Paradox is a company that specializes in custom-built PCs. So if you have an idea for a cool custom-built PC, they can definitely give you the hookup on that. But if you're not in the market for custom PCs, BR Paradox has a wide array of pre-built PCs that you could choose from at great prices. And if you're not in the market right now for a new PC, BR Paradox will definitely hook you up with an optimization. Optimizations take around 10-15 minutes to do, and they're very awesome. I highly recommend them. I had my PC optimized by them, and it's never run smoother since. BR Paradox also has a list of renowned customers ranging from LeBron James, Chris Brown, members of FaZe Clan, and even Angela White from your favorite orange and black site, if you know what I mean. So head on over to brparadox.com to get yourself a PC today or an optimization. And remember to use promo code REGIMENT at checkout. That's promo code REGIMENT down here at checkout. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's get to it, kids. Let's get after it. So British Navy sailor fired for posting OnlyFans content from a ship. You know, just fucking jacking off in the boat. Is another name for seaman, I guess. A British naval sailor is upset over his firing for posting explicit photos and videos while on board the aircraft carrier HMS Prince of Wales. How creative of a name, Britain. How creative.
We're not ones to talk.
Yeah, you're not. You're right. I mean, most of our shit's named after states and presidents. So,
yeah.
So he says that despite being unable to serve his nation, he's still doing well. According to the Daily Sun, Zach Blackman made roughly £1,500 per month as a sailor. He was making an additional $20,000 posting raunchy and explicit content on OnlyFans. Maybe pay your military guys. Maybe you know, maybe fucking give soldiers and sailors and Marines and airmen a livable wage, and they won't have to fucking show their asshole for the internet.
Wait, hold on. How much is £1,500? That's what I want to know. I want to know if it's more than what we get paid. Because if it is, I had some gripes and concerns here.
How about this?
£1,500
pounds to dollars.
That's $1,900.
So they
what
are.
Was his rank
per month? Per month.
I mean, shit. That's about what I get fucking paid.
So what's 20,000 pounds?
Well, without benefits.
20,000 pounds is about $25,000. All right. So, Blackman's supervisors were notified about the content, opened an investigation, and found Blackman had violated naval rules. You don't say. Blackman, what?
Was the pictures taken on ship?
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
Yes.
Okay.
They were all on the ship.
Yeah.
Blackman says the photos of him in his uniform made the most money and that he refused to cancel the account when confronted by his superiors. He also said that he kept location and maneuvers of the boat hidden. Despite the firing, Blackman says he's now a millionaire thanks to OnlyFans and his 3 years of service in with the British Navy.
If that was the U.S. Navy, he would have been so much more fucked.
Yeah.
Because we're petty like that.
I mean, that was the biggest reason why he was fired, is because he was seen in uniform and on the ship. Even though
yeah, but we take that shit to the extreme, and we just we fuck their whole life.
Well, yeah, it's an operational security thing, and I get why we do it. We get it. We do it because we want to make an example out of them, and so that no one else fucking does it. You know, and to sway people from wanting to do it. That's mostly why that we go hard in the fucking paint with punishment. Even though a lot of the times, like 9 times out of 10, it's overkill, because
exactly.
Because it'd be like one person that did an outlier thing that nobody else would have thought to do, but yet you're gonna fucking just to make an example out of them because you don't want other people to do it. It's like, I didn't even plan on fucking doing that anyway, but okay.
But even still, they'll take something that's really not that big a deal, especially so like if it's pictures while he's in his berthing. That's ain't no secrets getting out to the enemy there of what my rack looks like.
Y'all call your fucking rooms on ships such weird thing. Birthing. My birthing. I'm birthing. BERTH. Oh, okay. I thought it was BIRTH. And like, I was born here. Yeah. So basically, don't post photos of your dick while on a ship. I mean, if you're gonna do them and send them to your girlfriend, that's one thing. But for the world to see,
I mean, for $25,000,
I know shit like that makes me. Even though I've got like dad bod from hell, I apparently
someone out there is willing to pay.
Apparently, dad bods are popular on OnlyFans. Man, I'm thinking about it. Hiding my face.
I'm telling you, man, just get some cakes. Just start sitting on that shit and posting it, and people, they will come.
Maybe like
literally and figuratively.
Maybe cosplay Thor from fucking God of War Ragnarok or some shit.
And then sit on a cake.
And then sit on a cake and fart on it.
I don't know why. Like, I literally saw an article about a woman that made millions of dollars sitting on
by
cakes,
sitting
and that's
on
that's
cakes?
just what I have in my head now on
Honey,
OnlyFans.
You could be a millionaire on OnlyFans by just sitting on cakes. How easy is that? Hey, you know what? If I will not like, give you shit for it. I would have to be the one that interacts with your fans, though. No, you're right. I would have to help. I don't know. It's just pretending to be you and talking to fucking strangers on the internet.
He's the cake setupper.
I'm the cake setupper, and I talk to
he's the cake bitch.
I'm the cake bitch. Speaking of bitches, Army employee at Texas installation accused of stealing $103 million from the Army.
That's a great segue.
Yeah. Janet Mello, who's charged with bilking the Army of more than $100 million, came to the attention of federal investigators after the IRS flagged her as a possible tax cheat, according to court filings. I completely get it, too. Well, I mean, they don't do that to other fucking millionaires and billionaires, but at the same time, at the same time, it's like when you go from making nothing to a multimillionaire basically out of nowhere, it's going to raise some fucking red flags.
Well, it's only because she doesn't know how to play the tax system.
Right. So Mello is accused of setting up a shell company to fraudulently collect money from a 4-H program for military families. She was a civilian Army employee at Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam, Houston, whose duties included helping administer the 4-H initiative. What is the 4-H?
I'm from Podunk, fucking Indiana, where I'm from. 4-H was like the horses and the cows and all that shit.
Let's look. I'm curious. 4-H military. What is this? It was a 4-H program for military families. 4-H. What is 4-H program for military families?
I feel like asking these questions in Chat GPT.
Youth development organization, empowerment youth become leaders. Let's see. Military partnership focused on the positive youth development by providing opportunities and support for military connected youth on and off installations. So it was like basically a development thing for dependents, for kids.
That basically told me nothing.
She created the company called Child Health and Youth. I mean, if I would have kept fucking reading, I would have seen. Child Health and Youth Lifelong Development, or CHILD, that's creative, in 2016, and included it in her 2017 personal tax forms. According to a new court filing, she reported that her company earned a profit of $483 on revenue of $2,152 for training consultants. After 2017, however, Mello has not filed any subsequent income tax returns for CHILD on a personal nor business entity income tax return. According to a forfeiture lawsuit filed by Assistant U.S. Attorney Antonio Franco Jr. in federal court on December 27th, the lawsuit aims to recoup more than $18 million found in bank accounts tied to Mello.
Wow.
So prosecutors say Mello, 57, lived a life of opulence that far surpassed what her government salary could support. In 2022, her pay was $129,996.
Can we use simpler terms? Like opulence is not a term that I know what the fuck it means.
Maybe if you just fucking read a book. Anyway, with the money she allegedly stole between 2017 and 2023, Mello went on a globe-trotting trips, dined at high-end restaurants, bought expensive jewelry, designer clothing and accessories, amassed a collection of vintage high-performance motorcycles and cars. She also bought millions of dollars worth of real estate, including several luxury condos. She bought one of her latest properties in August, an estate on 60 acres of rural Maryland, while she was in temporary duty in Washington, D.C., according to records reviewed by San Antonio Express News. The IRS noticed the discrepancy between her salary as a government employee and her lifestyle. You don't say.
That's what it is right there. Once you start
living... If you try living lavishly, if you
quite ridiculously,
if you somehow start living astronomically beyond your means, it's going to raise questions of like, how are you able to afford that?
Yeah.
And then
that's why you got to have nice things, but not ridiculous shit.
Right. Like multi-million-dollar fucking real estate, exotic cars, blah, blah, blah. The agency's Criminal Investigations Division launched a joint probe with Army investigators, which resulted in her indictment early December on mail fraud and related charges. It is one of the Army's worst ever theft cases. Authorities accused Mello of exploiting lax controls at the Army's Installation Management Command to divert $103 million to her company instead of the 4-H program it was intended for. So instead of putting it to the program, she was giving it to herself. So the program was real. However, well, maybe not. It said shell company. But she started diverting it to herself. Authorities could have detected her alleged theft much earlier or even prevented it if Army leaders hadn't loosened the administrative reins, granting her more autonomy on her job as part of an organizational shakeup, according to court records and interviews with sources familiar with the investigation. So basically, she was literally the captain of her own ship and was able to pull this off because she had nobody else to look into this with her to ask questions. So she was completely working on her own.
It's a long fucking article.
Yeah, I'm noticing that. Let's see. So, you know, they were, let's see, blah, blah, blah. This is them talking about the moves. Let's see. DFAS sent the money after receiving packets from Mello that included, let's see. The agency mailed in more than 40 payments to Child totaling of $103 million, all at Mello's request. Of course, she asked and they didn't even think to ask her why. DFAS sent the money after receiving packets from Mello that included a document known as the Standard Form 1080, a voucher request for payment that indicated, though doesn't specifically spell out, that IMCOM has vetted and approved Child as a vendor for the 4-H program. They allowed payments to her company to be processed without an invoice. According to DFAS, the normal process for the distribution of funds requires Mello's supervisor to submit a memo to DFAS indicating an entity or potential vendor is approved to receive the grant funds and list the source of those funds. Prosecutor for Franco wrote in the forfeiture lawsuit, on all the memos submitted to by Mello's supervisor wherein Child was listed as the recipient of the funds, Mello was listed as the person whom DFAS should directly ask any questions about payment authorization. So she was her own supervisor to clear this shit.
Oh, of course. She's just fucking signing checks.
So instead of having her supervisor Suzanne King approve and sign forms that needed for her okay, Mello allegedly digitally forged King's signatures according to court records. Oh, so her supervisor never saw it. She forged the signature and pushed it through.
But what if she's the supervisor, is it forging?
Well, no, she's not. So she actually does have a supervisor, Suzanne King. Instead of sending it to her for approval, she was forging the signature saying that she was Suzanne King and submitting it.
Oh, digitally forged.
Right,
That's
digitally
really
forged.
easy to do.
Of course it is.
But well, if you're not using like the CAC signatures, which you can't fake those.
So this quote says, they stovepiped the process to only one person, said a source familiar with the investigation referring to the Army leaders. They gave her complete carte blanche and she found all the loopholes. No supervisor appears to have spot-checked Mello's work. In December, Assistant U.S. Attorney Justin Simmons said that the Army apparently hadn't conducted an audit of the program. Of course they didn't. They're too busy trying to fucking find ways to, add to recruiting and retention.
While still fucking everybody else over and wondering why nobody's sticking around.
One memo dated January of 2017 requested a check for $983,000 to be delivered by FedEx to Child's purported address and shirts. Mello was listed as the contact person. The memo included an email sent by Kathy Johnson to Mello's work email address. Mello described Johnson as the financial analyst reimbursable coordinator at Child. It also listed a phone number for Johnson. I'm assuming this person wasn't real. Based on the investigation, Kathy Johnson, the phone number and email address appeared to be fake. Shocker! As no phone number or email address returns to Child or Kathy Johnson. So her more
That's why Kathy Johnson was in quotations.
Get that. Damn, this is bold. Mello's most recent request for payment dated August 14th of last year for a check more than $4 million to be sent to an address on the whatever block of the U.S. and Stone Oak. The memorandum was digitally signed by Chief Sys IMCOM and gives the person's full name, though the lawsuit does not name the person. IMCOM records reviewed the Express News identify the person as King, so she's not real. Based on the investigation, there's no evidence Child has a physical address out of which it operates, the lawsuit said.
So it said that the one above that said that they discovered that the company's mailbox addresses were for UPS stores that rent mailboxes.
Yeah.
So like PO boxes.
Basically PO boxes, yeah. So this was her life that she was living during this. During the investigation, agents also found that Mello picked up the checks at a U.S. address and deposited them in the Bank of America branch office across the highway. The lawsuit said to conceal the source of funds. Mello transferred the fraud proceeds through various bank accounts she controlled. The forfeiture lawsuit said no legitimate income appeared to have been deposited to bank accounts tied to Mello's company. Her government paycheck went to the USAA bank account, separate from child accounts, the lawsuit said. Agents found between March 2022 and April 2023 alone, DFAS issued more than $61 million in payments to child. And they never thought to audit this and look into it. They were just fucking sending money and not thinking, this is a lot of money. Like, should we look into this a little more?
It's not exactly a good system.
No, it's not. Investigators allege that Mello spent nearly $43 million between December 7th, 2021 and May 31st, 2023. That included $24.3 million on retail, quote unquote, $10.9 million on jewelry, $8 million on vehicles, $133,000 on airfare, and $80,000 on lodging, the lawsuit said. Prosecutors have not said whether anyone questioned her allegedly lavish spending or took such concerns to federal authorities. So no one even thought to question her. So she was living the fucking high life, and not a single person thought we should probably look into this person. God.
She probably kept it on the DL.
She bought a $3.1 million property in Preston, Maryland, among others, and 78 luxury cars and motorcycles.
That doesn't mean that she told a lot of people.
What are you going to do with that many cars? 78 bikes and cars?
I'm going to look at all of them.
I barely know what to do with the fucking one bike and car I have. I want to sell my bike. I don't need two vehicles anymore. This is crazy. She fucking just living it, dude. Just living it. She looks like a complete piece of shit, too.
That's how you can tell people are just so greedy and just want so much, and it's never enough.
Nope, never
when they
enough.
Just spend. Like, what are you gonna do with this? I don't know. I might look at it.
It's
once a day or something.
Dude, it's crazy because it's like not a single person even thought to was like, how are you able to afford a fucking Ferrari? You know, like I can't even pay for milk right now. You're out here buying luxury cars. It's crazy.
Gotta get all that almond milk, my guy.
Fuck almond milk.
I love my nut juice.
Now into the gaming and tech world. MSI's 240 hertz 4K OLED monitor uses AI to turn you into a League of Legends god, but let's see what else it does.
It says, bro, that's cheating.
What does?
It's right underneath the bold letters.
Oh, yeah, bro, that's cheating. So MSI could have left well enough alone with the Meg 321 URX QED OLED monitor. Try saying that 3 times fast. It's impressive as hell just off pure specs alone. This 32-inch 4K 240 hertz OLED monitor with display HDR, true black 400 certification, 99% coverage DCI. This is a lot of fucking. There's a lot of. There's a lot of tech shit.
DCI P3 color spectrum.
Stop there. And this beast rocks. Don't take my word for it. Hardware Unboxed Monitor Guru said that this early preview in the monitor published in time for CES.
What you skipped so much.
It was a lot of fucking tech talk I didn't want to dive into. But MSI didn't stop there. AI isn't just for NPUs, Windows 11, and data centers anymore. MSI breaks chips with AI into its monitors. Most of its lineup sticks with MSI's gaming intelligence feature, which automatically enables eye saver mode when you're slinging spreadsheets, enables game modes where you're slinging virtual bullets, and so on. Cool beans. MSI Meg 321 URX goes a step further. It uses AI to try to turn you into a League of Legends god. Seriously. One of the two features is fairly simple, but still incredibly handy. There's an RGB spectrum bar light bar across the bottom of the display, and MSI trained its AI to tie that into your selected character's health bar. Interesting. So your health bar shows on your monitor instead of your screen. which is
With
weird.
this the same thing.
It's that's in League of Legends, by the way. It sounds silly, but seeing that light meter slowly drop across the bottom of your display as your character takes blows makes it much easier to keep tabs on your health. The next one is a bit more complicated. While you're scrolling around the league map, you'll see a big red skull appear at times pointing off screen. This is the monitor itself detecting where the enemies are coming from out of your line of sight and giving you an early warning using a feature called AI Skylight. It's a handy AI-driven cheater mode. Since all the processing runs off the chip in your monitor, you won't get banned, you naughty little devil, because it can't read the monitor. It reads your fucking software. MSI plans on training the Meg 321 URX's AI features to work in all other esports games like Dota 2, Counter-Strike, Global Offensive 2. Who knows?
God.
Dude, that's going to be a problem. Those will be banned. Guarantee it. Before you know it, your esports games...
How do you detect it?
It would have to be in-person events.
Well, yeah.
So what was the video you were talking about that was talking about like how this could be, how these cheats work?
So it used this as the basis. It was Level Cap. He was talking about it. It's like 8-minute video, so we don't have time for all of it.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna say we're not gonna watch an 8-minute video.
But he was talking about this is just the beginning of how AI cheats like this into monitors, because the monitors is just going to be the first step. But AI cheats, especially in this sense where it's completely undetectable and it's just helping you out on fucking screen because it's learning like the gameplay from what it sees and then it's analyzing that, is going to significantly change the game. And anti-cheats are always playing catch up regardless. So that's just going to make that fall further behind. And even until when they start using AI to like start catching up, they're still going to be behind because then they're going to just start now using it. It's completely changing the cheat game. Like it's going to change. I think first person games and competitive games are about to get so horrendous
because of the AI cheating,
because of everything like that. Yeah. Like single player games are going to be where it's at. Like to where if you cheat, it doesn't affect anybody else, honestly.
I mean, does the shit on the display show on your display screen when you're streaming though? Or can you hide it?
I don't know about
that's
that.
The one
More
thing
than likely.
The only thing I can think of to combat it is that like if you're doing a tournament, you have to stream your screen for the tournament. And if it shows on your monitor and it actually shows in a display capture, then yeah, you're going to be able to see it. But if it's
I don't think it would show in a display capture.
See, that's the thing about cheats, right? Is that the cheating software will only be seen on your end. You could stream yourself cheating, and the only way that people will see it is if you open your task manager. Or if you there's a setting in there where it hides it from, being able to be streamed.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that can be the case if it's built into the monitor where it's like your display is this display and you can't opt to hide it. If you hide it, you won't see it. And your only option is to either show it or not show it.
All that's going to take is a streamer mode button or something like that, or a capture mode.
I think that'll determine whether or not, because I could see this being a banned monitor. If you're using this monitor, like you can't, like you're not able to compete, essentially.
Doesn't stop anybody now.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, and that's just me like saying that like that's potential ways for people to combat the cheating.
LAN tournaments will forever and always be the true testament of any competitive game.
And then how long before the monitor can do wall hacks for you?
That's what I mean. That's what they were saying.
Like it predicts where it knows where someone's going to be.
Yeah.
Then again, how would it know?
AI can learn to do anything.
AI can't learn to do anything. It's kind of crazy. I actually had a discussion about AI in my class on Wednesday, or was it Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday. Because one of our classmates was saying that they're concerned. They were asking about AI in the workforce for IT, if we're truly going to get replaced by it. The answer is no. Pretty much the answer was get comfortable using it.
Yeah.
It's not going to replace you, but it would be valuable for you to learn how to use it.
Exactly. Because you're going to be at a disadvantage over the people.
Well, AI, when it comes to programming, is a useful tool, but it can't do everything. You know, it still requires you to do a lot of work. It can only do like small things because it doesn't know what you're trying to intend to do. ChatGPT, you can upload a photo now, and it can program based off of what the photo looks like. Granted, it's still not going to do everything the way you want it to do it. And
you can upload like PDFs and tell it to summarize this.
Yeah, I probably could. And still, are you sick?
I've been sick.
Weak genes, skill issue.
It's actually the last time I was sick was after the conference last year.
So you get sick every time you go to this conference?
Like someone goes in with some fucking plague sickness and then they just like bleh, spread it to everybody, and then we all go home and fucking patient zeros, never to be seen again.
Who's the one that keeps getting everybody sick, though?
Well, it's probably not the same person every year.
Is it Donnie?
He actually wasn't there this year.
No, so we can't blame Donnie. I don't know. Oh, I forgot to ask you about Tim being on. He never actually replied to the email.
No, but he's a super busy guy.
I know. Did you tell him around when we wanted him?
I put it in the email.
Oh, you didn't actually talk to him about it?
I did, yeah, but he told me to send him an email as well.
Oh, here's the hope that he responds. You know? Anyway, Call of Duty. So Call of Duty Warzone having some serious issues after the latest update, which I think got fixed. Many Warzone players experienced frustrating and bizarre new bugs following the release of Call of Duty Season 1 Reloaded update. I hope Microsoft does something to fucking deal with this problem that is Call of Duty.
I feel like that's why it got fixed so fast.
Call of Duty Season 1 Reloaded brought new additions to Warzone like 2 weapons. Oh my god. I bet it was like a 400 gigabyte update for 2 guns.
It actually wasn't. It wasn't a major update.
I don't care. I don't care at all. I really don't. Fuck them. Anyway, so the Champions Quest and the Gulag event. Originally, the update was meant to add covert exfil and weapons case features as well, but these were delayed until further notice. Warzone's development team explained that these will be added later date alongside the playlist centered around the new features. While Warzone fans are excited for the new content to be added for the first time since Season 1's introduction, the anticipation was quickly spoiled for some fans following the update's release. Following the game's news update, many Warzone players reported that they are unable to get past the game's menu due to an infinite looping glitch. Once users attempt to load in Warzone Call of Duty's main menu, their screen becomes a buggy mess as it rapidly switches between loading screens.
So this little Reddit picture, the little 17-second video is exactly what it would do.
Let me see. Oh, wow.
It's just seizure.
Oh, wow.
Couldn't even get in.
That's crazy.
If you did get in, it was a very it'll show it further down with the loadout thing. Carry on.
Well, let's see. The loadout, was there a glitch with loadouts too?
Just a little bit further down, yeah.
Oh, whoa. So you're locked into your loadout.
Yeah, and you were just stuck there until somebody killed you.
That's a very familiar bug. I remember that being a bug when I played. So players on all platforms are reporting this issue. Most Call of Duty users are no strangers to bugs, but this one is particularly frustrating, especially after the excitement surrounding Season 1 Reloaded's release. It's unclear how long this will remain an issue, but fans are hoping that Call of Duty will release a hotfix in the near future. In efforts to remedy the problem, Call of Duty has temporarily disabled the new Champions Quest feature at the time of writing. One PC user reported that the looping menu bug could be bypassed by clicking the Rio 24/7 button in the background and then hitting escape.
The fuck is the Rio 24/7 button?
It's a map.
Oh.
Users who managed to load in the game are still at risk from a frustrating Warzone bugs. Many users have reported another new glitch that arises after interacting with supply drops, which sees the screens of affected users shutter as black shading repeatedly disappears around the edges of their point of view. This glitch was also reported on all platforms. I like that. Don't worry if you get past the glitching menus, the game runs fine. Although this is probably disappointing news for Warzone fans, recent developments surrounding the game aren't all doom and gloom. Recently, Call of Duty announced a new upgrade to its anti-cheat system, which will now target mouse and keyboard players using aim assist by automatically closing their game. What?
That's a thing?
How do you use if you're using an aimbot, it'll shut your game down. Cheaters were achieving this by using software that tricked the game into thinking they were using a controller, but hopefully this is no longer possible. So they were able to trick the game into thinking their mouse and keyboard was a controller?
But yeah, that's literally what Cronus's do.
Really?
Like all this, that's why I think it's so funny. Every time I say it, every single time, people are like, "Oh, you can get banned for Cronus." No, the fuck you can't, because the system recognizes it
As a controller.
as an approved controller.
And
that's how they're in business.
And there's really no way to determine that it's not.
Exactly. That's their whole business concept. That's how they started business. They just started to kind of get into the script game.
I remember
because they started with LAN tournaments.
I remember when the Cronus first came out. Like
it was for input lag at LAN tournaments.
And not even just that, but it was basically giving players on console aimbots.
Yes.
And like it was modding your controller without modding your controller. And I knew people that were using this. Like, I'm just gonna get a Cronus, and I'm like, what is that? And I looked into it, and I'm just like, that's crazy that I could do that for your controller. I never got it because I thought it was stupid. But
I used it for zombies. It was hilarious.
Did it work?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
It was funny. It was funny as fuck.
Are you admitting to cheating
in zombies?
Yeah. No. Are you admitting to cheating at Call of Duty? Hey, Regiment! Regiment!
Get him!
He's cheating in COD.
I've cheated in so many zombies games.
Yeah, I bet you have. Sometime in the future, Warzone will also introduce its new Covert Exfil feature, giving players a new way to successfully exit a match. While Covert Exfil was only originally intended for Warzone's Battle Royale mode, it seems that it will now be introduced as a unique new mode. Cool.
Just guess what? When you cheat by yourself, it doesn't hurt anybody.
I mean, that's why single-player games, like, I love mod support for single-player games, because it's like, you're the only person that's getting the cheating is you.
Yeah, you're either just...
No one's affected by the cheating besides the NPCs.
So you're really just enhancing the experience for yourself. Or ruining, depending on who you're talking to. But it's not affecting anybody else, so it's ultimately just enhancing your experience.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, our next topic, to the Army. So, soldier disappeared from social media after her command saw what she did with her husband. A former soldier in the Army Reserves, of course, it's always the fucking reservists.
It really is.
Was quick to go completely dark on social media after she shared too much information about her personal life at home. Marlene Mishonen made her disappearance from social media while serving as a reserve component soldier with the 103rd Expeditionary Sustainment Command in Des Moines, Iowa in 2021. At the time, Mahonen had over 23,000 followers on TikTok and even had a video featuring her direct supervisor, Sergeant Bougie, go viral, racking up over 800,000 views. She was poised to be an influencer with the possibility of earning a decent income outside of the military, but it all came to an end with one video. The video was detrimental to the image of the service member, and the Army Reserves was quick to distance themselves from it. The video featured her holding a camera while her husband attempted to give her third brown eye a shave. Shaving her asshole.
This is right up your alley.
Your butt's too big, her husband. Oh, wow. Yeah. Your butt's too big, her husband said. Your cheeks weigh 10 pounds apiece. Mahonen's husband served in the same unit as his wife before the video was made, was working on a civilian security guard at the time. Not long after news of the video began to circulate, Mahonen took down her social media accounts and disappeared. When the Army Reserve Public Affairs Command caught wind of the video, they were quick to distance themselves from it, stating she no longer served with the 103rd Expeditionary Sustainment Command or the U.S. Army Reserve. Imagine. Okay, here's the thing, right? Why would you make a video of your significant other shaving your fucking asshole to post it for the whole world to see? What did you think was going to happen? What was the result you thought would come from that?
What was the angle?
The angle of
the video.
I don't think it was showing anything.
That's what I mean. What's the problem?
The idea that like you're getting your asshole shaved and you're recording yourself getting your asshole shaved, even though you're not showing it.
But it's not showing anything. Who the fuck cares?
Regardless if you're showing it or not, why share that information with the world?
It's 2024.
Hey, honey,
people put everything on the internet.
If I was shaving your asshole on, just shaving your asshole, would you record it even if you didn't show it? Would you record it and post it to social media? Right. Now, wouldn't you think that if a person was doing that it's like, why are you doing that? Right? Yeah. Even if showing it or not, if you're not showing it, the insinuation that it's even being done is fucking weird. What was the point?
There's been far stranger things on the internet.
I know. My point still stands. Like, why? Why do it anyway? Like,
this is mild.
Does your mom not see this?
This is tiddlywinks right here.
Does your mom not see this? Do your friends not see this? Where it's just like, I think this will be funny. Shave my butthole and I'll post it to the internet for everyone to see. It'll get so many views.
That's just an instructional video.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We're finding loopholes in YouTube's nudity policy. Informational videos on YouTube. If you're just like showing how to do a fucking breast examination, you could show full titties on YouTube.
I mean, there's very
not
specifics
lying.
that are about. I understand this.
I'm not lying. I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm not gonna do it on Regiment's profile though. I'm gonna do it on mine.
But it's gotta be on. It's still got specific parameters to it. You can't just like label something as
breast examination steps, where it's like, okay, so
it has to be a legitimate video.
The thumbnail is a chick with her tits out. I'm not even lying.
That's funny.
Like, it's for real. Like, it's because it's considered an informative video. I mean, obviously, like, there are doctors that use it on fake boobs, but for the most part, if you go look at the thumbnails, it's straight up titties. Straight up titties.
Yeah, but those are needed videos, though.
Yeah, they are. They are. I remember Tom Segura, fucking Dr. Drew is in some of the videos on how to do a fucking ball exam.
I feel my balls every day.
I feel my balls every day too. But my point is that like you could still show that shit on YouTube and it's completely fine. It doesn't violate anything because it's an instructional video. However, there are some videos where there was a video that they found where it's a guy giving an instructional video on how to shave your fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's
and it straight up shows how to shave
instructional
your
video. I hope he used Manscaped and he was sponsored as well.
I don't know, man. All I know is that like you could get away with some shit if it's labeled instructional.
That's a hell of a fucking promo for Manscaped right there that you could get.
Right.
I mean, you've already done this before. You might as well do it again.
Yeah, I guess. I did do it to myself, didn't I? I have once.
Classic story.
Okay, so Ubisoft, and we're gonna get to gaming news now. Ubisoft exec says gamers need to get comfortable with not owning your games. You bastard, you little bitch. Fuck you.
I mean, if purchasing isn't owning, then piracy isn't theft.
Dude, I'm all for piracy. I'm all for it. So just like with the music and television, games industry has been slowly shifting towards an all-digital feature for some time now, despite pushback from certain communities with concerns surrounding preservation and ownership. Unfortunately, it seems that the biggest publishers out there aren't concerned about the latter. You don't say. As a Ubisoft executive recently stated that gamers need to get used to the feeling of not owning their games. This statement was made by Ubisoft's director of subscriptions, Philippe Tremblay, who recently spoke to Game Industries Biz about the digital feature in Ubisoft Plus specifically. Tremblay states that people eventually got comfortable with not owning CD or DVD collections, and that similar shift in attitude needs to happen in games.
So, yes, we did, because we still bought them. They were just in a digital form.
Here's the thing,
which
too,
is
though.
Fine.
Here's the thing, too. Most video games are stuff that you are going to go back to and play again. I would argue that a movie is one of those things where you watch every so often, even if you've already seen it. If you watch it once, you probably won't watch it again unless you want to watch it years down the line. Video games are not like movies and CDs. Music, Spotify is whatever. But the problem is you don't have to worry about Spotify removing shit, because they don't. Typically, they don't.
They do.
They do, but it's not very often that they do. Whereas
it's usually not them, it's the artist.
Right. It's the artist that's doing it. They want their shit removed, which is, I get it. Like, if you own the fucking CD, whatever, or if you download it, but if you download it, you still have it, right? Even if they do remove it, you still have it if you download it to whatever device.
Only for a certain amount of time.
Movies are often recirculated through multiple different streaming services. You'll watch that movie, you're probably not going to fucking watch it again for years after that, unless, you watch it and then your spouse is like, I want to watch that too. Okay, we'll watch it together. And we'll watch it again for that. But games are not the same as music and movies. Games as a media is an interactive media versus a movie. You are going to continuously keep coming back to it, right? Or it could take a very long time for you to finish it. You might not finish it and want to come back later. Let's say you're in a subscription service and you're like, I want to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You start playing it, you get halfway through, and you're like, I got busy, I'll come back to it. Now, I know Ubisoft wouldn't do that because this is their title. Then again, I don't know. What if they removed that game from their library and you're subscribed to them, but you don't own the game? Therefore, you cannot finish that game because they took it off. It's gone.
Yes. Now, that's the thing where I think we the risk that we take with subscriptions. But if we buy it just digitally, they can suck my ass. I bought that shit. Well, if I'm paying for a subscription and I'm getting a shit ton of games with that, I know what I'm getting into.
See,
right?
Digital purchases, even though convenient, the problem with that is, what if one day, I think there might have actually been examples of this where a game. Oh, I know a game, PT. It was a Silent Hill demo from Hideo Kojima through PlayStation. When you had that game, it was a digital only download, and if they eventually split ways with Kojima, so they got rid of PT. They didn't delete it though. They weren't deleted from certain PlayStations at the time.
No.
So that's
a great example would be Google Stadia.
Stadia, yes. Digital media where it's like all your games are on a cloud server, and now that's not even a cloud server, that's an operation. So guess what? They're gone. All those games you bought, gone. And I'm not even sure people got refunds for it.
True.
So it's like it can happen where they could just take them away from you, and there's nothing you could do about it. But because
that is the downside of that.
Yeah, with the digital,
I agree.
With digital purchasing, yeah.
That's less of a fear for me though than understanding the subscription thing. That's why I don't really subscribe to shit. I have the PlayStation subscription because I have to
play online.
Fucking play online. And that's pretty much it. I don't use it I don't have like the
Dude,
ultimate subscription. I don't use it for the fucking demos or download the games, whatever.
I was
just
so
buy my games.
bummed when Sony decided to go away from the free online play.
After PS4?
Yeah, after PS4 when they got rid of that, dude, that was like the number one thing.
Or 3. It was PS3.
It was PS3 was the last one. PS4 came out and it was no longer. You had to pay a subscription to play online, and it sucked because it was like that was the one big selling point of them over Xbox was that you don't need an Xbox Live version for PlayStation to play online. It was free for everybody.
To be fair though, it did drastically improve the quality.
I mean, yeah, it did. I mean, I understand that, but the problem is the way now it's just like there's like 3 different tiers of that and stuff, and like I think the bare minimum you could still play online. That's
the bare minimum is all you need to play games online.
Yeah,
because everything else above that, I guess I think with it you still get like the PlayStation Plus monthly free games, whatever, the 2 that they have, and you can add to your library. And they have some stuff here and there that you can try out, I guess. But the other tiers are what they have to compete with the Xbox Game Pass. That's why they came out with that.
Yeah.
The basic tier is just what it always has been.
True. All right,
with honestly maybe a few added benefits.
A few added, yeah. Like the premium tier lets you play like super old PlayStation titles.
Yeah, that's true. Like God of War and shit is on there.
I know. I find it weird how they do it though, because they have certain games. Like,
they pick and choose.
It's like I see like their middle ground, which I think is the better value. Their middle subscription has all these newer games. But a game like God of War, the first one, which came out in 2017, is premium only, which is crazy because I'm like, you have games that are on here that are newer, some that are even more popular, but it's like,
oh, I meant the originals, like the Greek ones.
The Greek, no, I'm talking about like the one before Ragnarok. That one's premium only too, which
2018,
which is weird because it's like you have games that are even newer. You know, you would want people to just buy over putting them in a subscription, but it's like you put them behind I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway,
that's 5. It was almost 5 years when that game, the second one came out. That's crazy.
The second one came out like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But that's almost like 5 years after the.
Yeah. Did you play the Valhalla DLC?
No, I've not. I'm so behind on like 4 games right now.
It's different, but it's good. It's a roguelike gameplay style where it's like you go in with what you go in with and you upgrade as you go, and then like it's basically like an arena. You just start over again and you start from the beginning and then you go through it again. But you could purchase abilities and stuff, and it like basically it goes through the story of Kratos overcoming who he was. It's good. I liked it so far. Anyway,
I'll get there eventually.
Let's finish this article. So he goes on to explain that not owning a game doesn't mean you lose your progress, and that you still keep the time you invested in what you've built, even though you don't have a physical copy to stick on your shelf. Tremblay also says that he understands that gamers' perspective when it comes to owning games, but claims that services like Ubisoft Plus will allow them to access their games when you feel like. For now. Yeah. Tremblay's view on physical games isn't that shocking, considering that he's the director of subscriptions, which we said earlier. But he does leave out some concerns shared by many when it comes to subscription services. For starters, games actually do come and go on these services right now, with the most recent example being Grand Theft Auto 5 leaving Xbox Game Pass. If you play games only via subscription services, you could very easily lose access to certain titles on a regular basis. Secondly, games that are pulled from online stores for one reason or another would mean they cease to exist in an all-digital future. 2 high-profile examples were original Alan Wake and Ubisoft's very own The Crew, both of which were pulled due to licensing issues. While the former eventually returned to digital storefronts thanks to recent remaster, The Crew can no longer be bought and will poof out of existence March 31st, 2024.
So I will say that is a nice advantage that I think PlayStation kind of has over Xbox with their PlayStation Plus thing, like the free game system, right? All you have to do is you add that shit to your library, and it's in your library forever, as long as you
Unless
have a
they actually
PlayStation
go
subscription.
through with the whole deleting shit. I know they backtracked on the whole just deleting Discovery purchase content, but what's to stop them from the free content that you downloaded? Like, well, you didn't pay.
That's
for
what
that.
I mean.
You didn't
so
pay
like,
for that,
or
so
at
we're
least
gonna
currently,
yeah,
currently, anyways.
currently, yes.
From day one of whenever, at least that I started, which was years ago, basically when PlayStation Plus first started, when you could start adding like those free games to your library, I still have access to all of those games. Because all you do is when it's available for that month, I click add to library. Don't have to download it or anything. And I can always, currently, like I said, unless they ever change it, I can always go back and be like, I want to play that and download it. Because it's when you look at your library, it's all still fucking there.
So yeah, currently, yes, it's still there. The only concern is like I said, if it's one of those games where you downloaded while in the subscription, what if they remove it from the subscription but decide to delete it from your library? You didn't pay for it. It was free and you downloaded it, but because it's no longer in our platform, we're going to completely wipe everybody from being able to play it.
Yeah, and that's frustrating.
And that is the concern with that too. So despite these worries, it seems inevitable that publishers will try and push more and more players towards subscription services for their foreseeable future. They've seen how much money they bring for streaming giants such as Netflix and Disney and want a slice of the action. With subscription revenue making up 89% of the video-based content market in the UK last year, whether the games industry will be make a smooth transition remains to be seen.
I mean, it's a risk that we take with the subscription service, and that's because we don't want to pay for all of our, if we can't afford to buy all of our games, this is the route to go, because you just pay the subscription, you get access to a lot more games. The downside of that is the possibility of those games going away.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which it does suck, like you were saying, but I think that's part of the risk that you take with the subscription service.
I don't like it, okay? I don't like it. Not a fan of it. Thank you for me.
It's just like when shit. It's like when shit goes off of Netflix. You're like, "Fuck, I wanted to watch that."
And then you have to
like,
Google
I loved watching that shit.
But the thing that I noticed that when it comes to the movie subscription services, there's a thing they like to do is where they like to hand off something to somebody, to another service.
Well, where they hand off, they buy the rights to it for a certain amount of time.
Typically, though, and I've seen them do this with shows where they'll have some seasons on one service and then other seasons on another service, and it's like, why?
Yeah,
why are you doing that? Where
that's
it's
interesting to me too.
And I find that shit so fucking frustrating. Or like what I've seen HBO do, where they'll have like a new season of something. Well, they'll have certain seasons of a show available on their service, but some random middle season you have to purchase it. HBO's done that. I've seen
Amazon used to do that shit.
Where it's like, for fucking what? Like, you have every season, but this one season that's not even the recent one. It's like the 4th season of 6, and in order to be up to speed on what's currently going on, it wants you to buy the season. And I'm like, fuck you, that's stupid.
Kiss my ass.
And or like, will they have, like Yellowstone's a good example, right? So Yellowstone's a Paramount Plus show. However, some seasons are on Peacock, but the rest of the seasons are on Paramount Plus. And if you were on Peacock, where it's like you didn't know that, let's say you're on Peacock, and you didn't know that the rest of the seasons were on Paramount Plus, it's like, oh, if you want to watch this, you got to get Paramount Plus also. And it's like, and someone did a calculation how much all subscription services cost. It's in the thousands.
It's a lot. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's like $1,200 to have every subscription service. It's $1,200 something a month for all of them. And it's like subscription services turning into cable. And now with everybody's raising their prices over and over again, adding ads into their shit. Amazon Prime is going to be adding ads this month. I think they already did, where you have to pay more to not see the ads. Imagine, like, having commercials. The one thing that streaming services was like the reason that you got them was to get away from that. Now they're adding them and making you pay more to not see them.
It was only a matter of time though before that came. Like I honestly saw that coming from the day that Netflix was first a thing. Because the day that Hulu was the second streaming service, right?
And they were having ads. They had an ad tier system off the rip.
Exactly. And they were the first ones to do it. So it was because Amazon you could only like buy shit stuff from. They didn't really have their like Prime movies
Video,
or whatever
yeah.
yet. You could just buy stuff. You could pretty much find everything there. And so it was Netflix, which was like the main for movies and stuff, and Hulu was generally TV shows for the most part. Like they were the better platform for TV shows. But I remember they had that ad tier, and I was like, that's going to be the start of it. And I knew the moment Hulu came in, it was only a matter of time before we started seeing more and more like that. And then it started to become just the main norm.
The one thing that I find the most frustrating is the restriction to password sharing. Like Netflix.
On a business aspect, I get it.
Fuck the business aspect. Fuck them. Because here's the thing. There was like back in 2017 where...
Well, it's like devices. You can only be on so many devices at one time.
There was a tweet that somebody shared on Twitter and tagged Netflix in it and said, well, that's awkward. And it was Netflix's tweet saying, true love is sharing a password.
That's funny.
And it was just like, well, this didn't age well. Because now they don't let you. And the thing that sucks about that...
So you can. It's just a matter of you can only be on so many devices at one time, which I think is interesting to me.
Well, and they make you pay more for having more devices.
Is your camera frozen?
No, maybe it is. Oh, thank God it's that camera, but it's frozen on Discord.
Oh no.
Okay, I've been having this issue where my fucking camera keeps freezing and shutting itself off. Don't know why. Thankfully, it happened on Discord and not on the fucking recording on OBS.
That's good. So, where was I?
The subscription services and like how the password sharing and stuff and the devices.
Yeah. So, other services, which is surprising to me that Netflix had it like that, because I think we just got comfortable with it.
Well, they made it the
almost
norm.
everything.
It's not
You've
our
only
fault.
been able to have a certain amount on so many systems.
But it's not the user's fault because they made us comfortable with that, thinking that this is how it's going to be, and then changing the norm and then making it and on top of that, here's the thing. Here's the biggest issue with Netflix.
Well, they allow like 6 devices, I think.
No, the basic one, which is what I got, well, not the basic one, but the one without ads, lets you have 2 or 3.
I've never.
I just signed up. I signed up
have
for
at least 4.
Because on my smart TV in the bedroom, we don't have a browser, so I can't pirate. On my main TV, I can pirate, but like that's neither here nor there. When I was signing up for it, it said like, it would have these different tiers of like how many devices you could have, and like the one with the basic without ads lets you only have like 2 or 3. TV and mobile device. So it was like, okay, what the fuck?
Maybe it's because we're on the same. Oh, they added the, if you're on the same Wi-Fi network,
right?
That might be it.
So it's through your IP now, and that's why it's like when I was using my Netflix when it was with my mom and shit, there was like 4 or 5 of us on there, and it was like, it looks like you're not streaming from your address that's on record. It's just like, fuck you. You cunt. Fuck you. I was so pissed at that when that first happened because it was like, and then they tried boasting saying we saw more subscriptions based on this. And it was like, yeah, because you are banking on the fact that people are just gonna like, not boycott you. And the other thing that sucks is the quality of Netflix when it comes to their shows, for example. So Netflix and their decisions for shows when it comes to making a good show or canceling a good show. their basis on how they do that is very obscure. No one knows like how they truly go through the like what the data they need to just cancel a show, because they've canceled some good shows after a season. And it was like they canceled good shows after not even a month of the season's existence. Yet they have these shitty shows. They keep going and making these weird decisions. The Witcher, for example. I'll give you a good example of that. They had a 7-season plan with The Witcher with Henry Cavill being Geralt. Henry Cavill is a big nerd like us. He's very into like the source material, which is with the books, which is the show is based off the books. Netflix thought it was stupid to go with the books. They never read the books, they never played the games, they know nothing about it, and they just wanted to basically make money off the name.
Yeah.
And that shows because they changed characters, like, and how the characters were. They changed try to tiptoe this one, race swapping characters, gender swapping characters, where it's like, for example, they just announced that there's a character that was a vampire, right? Who is like an older white guy. And they casted Lawrence Fishburne for that character. And it's like, Lawrence Fishburne's a great actor. Why are you changing this character? And another thing they did was they made the Bard, Yaskier. The Bard is like a womanizing guy. He's a man whore and stuff. They decided to make him gay for no reason.
Now he's a man whore.
And it's just like, but there was no reason for it. They just did. And now they recasted Henry Cavill after 3 seasons. They said, you're out. You're not Geralt anymore. Because he wanted to go and respect the books. Netflix didn't want to respect the books. They wanted to take The Witcher and do their own thing with it. And he's like, this isn't what I wanted, what I signed up for. So no one knows the true reason why he's out as Geralt, but they're recasting him with fucking Liam Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth's brother, which is a complete different fucking person. I don't know. The direction they go with shows is just so mind-boggling that they're just like, they go for these, it's the typical check the box thing. Where it's like, does it have this, and this? I don't give a fuck about the substance of it. Does it have...
Even good shows that do get seasons redone, like they get approved seasons to follow on, it takes forever.
I know. It does. It really does.
Because they're producing so much garbage on the back end. They're like, oh, we'll get to this. This is more important. We'll get to it a little bit sooner,
right.
But it's going to be a minute.
And it's just like these ideas of straying away from the source material to create your own thing. Like fucking Paramount did it with Halo and Master Chief.
I spend more time on fucking Netflix browsing what to watch than actually watching anything.
Same. Like, I'm trying to figure out what to watch. And like, and the decisions they do, like, for example, documentaries aren't even safe anymore. The Cleopatra documentary, they completely changed who she was, right? So she's not an Egypt. Like they completely ignored history about who Cleopatra was and what she looked like, and they race swapped her and they changed how her character was.
Well, Netflix is more for the wow and the shock factor. That was proven.
But the problem is, if you're gonna make a fucking documentary based on history, you can't change history. You're changing history at that point.
They're just out there for the wow factor, though, because that was shown in their like documentary, I guess, of Firefest, where Netflix had the Firefest guy on, like on the show, and he was talking like his Firefest, the fucking big party on the island.
I know.
Okay. And Hulu had a documentary that came out at the same time. Hulu's is more accurate and informative and factual, where Netflix is very similar, but they have like that shock factor, and they're like, we got the guy that fucking started it on ours. Fuck those guys. And I think Hulu sued him for it, actually. I think the Hulu version was better.
I think they might have, because it's not on Netflix anymore.
The Fire Festival one?
I don't think it is.
That's interesting. I mean, hell, I'll search on my phone while we move to the next topic.
Yeah, well, let's move on to the next topic as we go about this shit all night. So a video emerges of alleged soldier involved in a shootout during a road rage incident. So an alleged U.S. serviceman was featured in a video that's now going viral showing a man brandishing firearms and dog tags during a road rage incident. What'd you find? Is it there?
I'm not logged in.
The unknown individual was featured in an Instagram video, which has been liked over 15,000 times and shared around 2,500 times. In the video, the driver of a Chevy pickup gets out of his vehicle in a verbal altercation with several individuals, including a cyclist in his path. "Hey, unintelligible, that's fucked up. You want some of this?" The driver starts shouting. As the driver charged towards the individual, he fired a round from his handgun into the ground. When pedestrians and cyclists began arguing back to him, the driver pulled out his dog tags and waves them. "I'm fucking Army," he shouted. "Do you see this shit? I'm fucking serving my country." That's some boot shit. Pulling out your dog tags after discharging a firearm. I'm like, I'm in the Army. I'm in the fucking Army.
This is the one where he like pointed his gun at was it a female?
I don't know. Eventually, the group dispersed to an extent, and the driver retreats to his vehicle before exiting dramatically. As the truck spins out to leave, another pedestrian opens fire on it. Interesting. Unfortunately,
this is a different situation. Holy shit.
Unfortunately, the lack of context provided by the original video poster makes it difficult to ascertain who was involved, where the incident took place, and when it happened. The article will be updated as details emerge. Let's watch the video. I'm fucking Army, dude. You see this shit?
Was he in the fucking hood?
Probably.
I heard the hard R in there.
Did you? I didn't. Wait.
It's when he's driving away.
Hey, look, he gets out of his car and shoots the ground. So he's got his dog tags on him. What a fucking weirdo.
Douche.
Absolute douche. That's
clearly just graduated boot camp.
He had to have. Or he's in the guard.
Nobody wears their fucking dog tags.
Nobody wears their dog tags. This dude decided, I'm going to wear my dog tags today. He's probably going to go to the bar and try to pick up chicks with it.
I remember I wore my dog tags one fucking time, and it was as a boot. Like that first big boot lead that you get, you know, and you feel all cool.
I did not ever wear mine.
I was also younger than you when I joined.
That was
that first boot leave. I was like, I feel cool with these. Literally never wore them again. I don't think I've seen them since then, to be honest.
Mine probably still are. Actually, no, I don't think they are. Mine
probably not a good thing because I had my social on them. But
my dog tags were, so in the airborne, you don't wear them around your neck.
You put them on your shoe.
You tie them you tie them to your belt loop and put them in your back pocket.
In the Marines, we would put them. One would be on our boot.
Ours would be tied to our belt loop and in our back pocket, left back pocket. So,
I mean, similar.
The only time it was on me was when I was in fucking uniform. Outside of that, like, I never had them on me after that. So, yeah. I mean, what else? And it's a douchey boot thing to do. I'm in the fucking Army, bro. Look at my fucking dog tags, bro. I serve in this fucking country. It's like, God, no one cares, bro. No one.
There was another situation very similar to this that I thought this was what this was talking about.
Oh, some more boots fucking discharging firearms at people.
So I think it was like a sergeant, or he was up there in rank, and he's just going beside this woman. I think he did it to a couple of people, But he just draws his pistol on her, points it at her in the middle of the road, like through his driver's side window or his passenger window.
No, okay, so that I saw that article too. That was an airman.
Was it?
It was an airman.
Oh, of course it was.
And it's funny that you said that because it was like, I mean, when was that one? Because that one was literally right before this one.
It was very recent. It was like a week or so ago. Because I saw one of the military YouTubers talk about it.
Let's see. This was what page was this motherfucker on? I did see this one. I was gonna share it, but I'm like, well, that's pretty similar to the other one I'm showing.
That's what I thought this one was. I'm like, oh wow, what are the odds? There's a fucking another one.
So we got arrested. There was another one. This guy, I don't think shot at them though. Here, let me.
No. He just drew his. He pointed his pistol at him, and he had his finger on the trigger.
I'm gonna send it to you real quick. I'll pull it up.
Which we all know, treat, never, keep.
Whatever the fuck that meant. Okay.
Excuse me?
What'd you say?
The weapon rules? That's how the Marines would, that's how you memorize them. That's the first word. Treat, never, keep.
Treat, never, keep. I've never heard that one before.
Like, treat your weapon as if it's always loaded. Never point your weapon at anybody or anything that you don't intend to shoot. Keep your finger off the trigger, and keep the weapon pointed down range at all times.
Okay,
and
we didn't call it that.
Knows what lies beyond your target. Know where your target is and what lies beyond it.
So, man arrested for pulling gun on young woman identified as Air Force sergeant who claims he has PTSD. He's playing that card, I guess.
Of course.
So, man who was arrested after footage of him pointing a gun at a 19-year-old motorist during a road rage incident in Arizona has been identified as Air Force sergeant. The 40-year-old sergeant identified as Charles Bass was arrested after allegedly being seen in footage threatening to kill a 19-year-old woman after her driving on December 5th. Do you want to fucking die? That's what he says. He could be seen asking the woman identified as Shiana Bamba. What a name, right? Shiana Bamba. Bamba told ABC 15 the incident occurred after Bass was accused of cutting off his truck, which she denies.
Of course he has a truck.
Yeah. And she rolled up to a stop sign alongside him. After dropping her siblings at school, Bamba said she tried to change lanes. According to ABC 15, court documents state Bamba cut off a truck, but she claims she never had a chance to change lanes. I didn't make it, said Bamba. I didn't even attempt to switch lanes yet, she claimed. After Bass pulled the gun on her, she then contacted police and showed them the video. Bass she must have been recording as he was pulling up because she knew. Like, ooh, I'm going to fucking record this guy. He's going to be crazy. After Bass pulled the gun on her, she then I already said that. Bass was taken into custody by the Surprise Police Department. That's a place? Surprise, Arizona. Surprise! U.S. Marshals and the Air Force authorities from Luke Air Force Base on December 15th. After being arrested, he confessed to pointing the firearm at Bamba, but blamed the incident on PTSD. He's using it as a scapegoat. Guarantee he is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He said he raised the gun after he saw Bamba lower her window because of his PTSD and hypervigilance issues. He claims that he was not sure what her intentions were. There's nothing
that doesn't make you, not responsible for your actions.
Yeah. There's nothing I could say out of my mouth that could threaten you that much to have a finger on the trigger as I was in a car by myself, said Bamba. U.S. Air Force told ABC 15 that the incident is under investigation, but declined to offer any statement. Of course they weren't going to fucking say anything. What did you think? Let's see if the video plays.
It's not very exciting.
I just get nothing but fucking ads.
Gotta subscribe.
Fuck that. I'm not subscribing. I'm not subscribing to this bullshit. Whatever. The video, if it's not that exciting, it's not worth it.
It's not.
But yeah, basically he pulls up. He's got a gun pointed at her. He's like, you want to fucking die? You want to fucking die? Bah! Fucking Air Force.
Yeah, it's gotta be all tactical. Got a fucking truck.
I know.
Probably works in supply or something.
Something stupid. All right, last topic. Airman who went viral for wearing high heels and a furry costume is identified.
Sucks for him.
Yeah. The airman that went viral at the beginning of last year in a video of him wearing his uniform with high heels and a furry mask has been identified as an active duty airman. The viral video of the airman was recorded while he was at a tech school in Kessler Air Force Base in February of 2023. He's in tech school, so it was right after boot camp? What's the video?
What the f? Anybody want to jump a furry? Go. 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 Go do it. Go.
That went viral? I never saw it.
That's weird. So on Tuesday, he was identified as Airman First Class Mathlin, stationed at Idaho's Mountain Home Air Force Base. Shortly after his identity was made public, with images of him on duty wearing a furry costume, he acknowledged it and said he won. Guys, I win. Famous again, and got Republicans mad. Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
He wrote on Twitter X, "This is an awesome day."
It wasn't even a political thing.
No,
and here we are.
And he made it one. According to the Nova campaign's Twitter X account, Mathlin's command originally prohibited him from wearing his costume on duty, but has since been given permission. This is why people can't take us fucking seriously. The Air Force has not confirmed this or released a statement, but a post from Mathlin's Twitter account appears to show another airman on duty while wearing their furry costume. This is the Blue Falcon thing you were talking about.
I mean, that's pretty fucking hilarious.
This one's a girl.
It's got to be.
I know. Where's the tail at? Where's the tail attached to? I hope it's a belt. I can't imagine they're gonna wear a fucking butt plug. He also posted a picture with his commander, claiming he is invited to volunteer at military events while wearing his furry costume. Photo with the commander. He's a stellar person. Jesus.
See, but I don't think he's in uniform in this picture.
No, he's not. However, this
and in this person
is.
He may not necessarily be a furry in this picture or perceived as a furry. He could just look like a fucking mascot.
I mean,
which is basically what fucking furries are.
The whole thing right here, doing this shit in uniform, man. Come on. So a screenshot of the wear and appearance guidelines for the base states that it includes, but is not limited to furry animal suits. This is insane.
Excuse me? That's in the guidelines?
This is insane.
There was enough of it being done that it's actually in the guidelines?
It's in the guidelines.
What is going on in the Air Force, guys?
But it did also list an exemption for costume mascots for official tweets, which could validate Mathlin's claims he wears his suit at official events. Your mascot is a rainbow wolf?
It's the Air Force.
I expect this from the Navy.
Everyone says that, and yet here we are.
Here we are.
We don't have that in our instruction.
In June of last year, A1C Mathlin was given an LGBTQIA award by the DEIA Council and the Mountain Home Air Base LIT team for recovering and protecting his first unit, Pride Tree, for the 366th Logistics Readiness Squadron during its heavy dust storm.
I'm not going to rely. I don't remember what the I and the A stand for.
I don't either. AIC Mathlin shared the courage of squadrons such as this, whatever this unit is, to celebrate. A picture of the awards placard says, AIC Mathlin has shared the courage and strength of the LGBTQIA plus community with 5,100 military and civilian members of the MHAFB in addition to 3,500. So you just got an award for this. That's it. For just being what you are. So
That's like most awards, honestly.
Usually an award is given to you for doing something.
Nope, not anymore.
No, clearly not anymore. And here's the thing, and I will say this again. I have nothing against people doing whatever the fuck they want to do in off-duty hours. However, doing shit like this in uniform and getting a fucking award for it makes us look foolish. It makes us look stupid. Because it's like, you get to play fucking dress up during duty hours. It's so cool, so brave. It's not. It's fucking not.
You know, actually, now that you mentioned like you'd expect the Navy to do this, the Navy did have a person that was in the news for a while, Harpy Daniels. So it's a sailor that dresses up in drag and does drag shows, and he's even done like shows for his command and stuff. But the difference is, and the reason it died off so quickly is he's not doing it on duty. He's not doing it in uniform. And he's not doing it in a professional manner or to promote anything Navy. He just happens to be in the Navy.
Right. And that's the thing. That's why I'm like, why
do you, my guy?
Yes, do you do whatever the fuck your heart desires? Like, if you want to dress up like a fucking bird, go for it. You are completely within your right to do so. However, when you start doing this shit in uniform, start getting awards for doing it in your uniform. Now it goes under your DD-214 that you have this award that they probably just fucking made up in the last 2 years, and it's like, you know, it's like we're. I don't know. I could go down a fucking deep dive on this. That's probably gonna get me canceled. I don't give a shit. Anyway,
we can't do it here. We can't do it here.
It's like, don't do this shit in uniform, okay? We're in a, it's unprofessional. You wouldn't go to fucking work like I guarantee if you went to a job interview dressed like a fucking furry, you probably aren't gonna get hired. And you're gonna be like, they are phobic of things. It's like, no, it's just unprofessional. You know,
we have office etiquette, sir.
Yeah,
and a dress code.
And it's like, yeah, cool. You could be great at your job, all this stuff, and you could want to dress like a fucking rainbow wolf on your free time. Cool. There's a time and place. That's the point I'm getting at. There's a time and place for shit like this. On duty is not the time and place.
I remember when you took me to a drag show for my birthday.
Yeah. And it was fucking fun.
That was hilarious.
It was fun. It was
they were not talented though.
No,
it was a talent show that was in desperate need of some talent.
That's
not true. One of them, I think the final one had some talent. She was pretty good.
It was a drag pageant and talent show, and it was fun. However, it was like the talents weren't really talents, you know? It was just like,
it was so bad.
It was pretty bad.
The final one, I think the final one, I think she was singing or something.
I've been to better drag shows, if I'm being honest.
One of them was really good. I was impressed. The rest, I was like, they got to do some work or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, we've gotten this shit. They are fun. Don't get me wrong. You know, are they? Do you get an award for it? No. Should you? No. My opinion, but yeah,
not a military
award. No. I don't know. It's just the military is in a fucking weird place, man. Especially because we're allowing shit like this. It's one thing to allow beards and stuff. It's another thing,
which we don't,
which we fucking don't. We do to an extent. It has to be like command approved and all that good shit.
Pretty much got to be religious, honestly.
And religious,
or
it's got to be medical or religious related for you to even have it. But for the most part, it's like, what is the purpose of being able to? How did you swindle your command team to approve this? That's what I want to know.
Great question.
Like, how did you manage to pull this? What was the justification? Inclusivity?
I'm telling you, man, he met that one commander that was dressed up as the dog in his command photo. And he's like, woof, woof. Bark, bark.
No, the commander was the one that's got their face blurred out.
No, we went through this earlier. The one that had his command photo. You know what?
Oh, the one. Yeah, got it. He met the commander with the command photo dressed as a furry.
Yes. He had like the dog mask on. And it wasn't.
Oh, that wasn't a furry outfit. That was a fucking gimp mask.
What is that? Maybe his definition of furry is just less fur.
Hang on.
Smaller head.
Oh, it's a dog mask.
Yeah.
Dog mask for photo. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. It was Marine Corps. Oh no, Army. Oh, and this was posted. Oh, this is years ago. Army investigating soldiers who posed in dog costumes for their DoD photo. And it's a bondage mask. I was right. It's a fucking bondage mask. This. Let me share it to you. I think this is the one you're talking about.
Probably.
Goddamn, mouse work.
Because it's for the, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, so it's like Army investigating soldiers who pose in dog bondage masks. And this is not a furry costume. This is a straight up pup play bondage mask.
I mean, same, but different.
No, very, very different. Apparently furries, it's non-sexual, but this one is a sexual mask.
Hey, no fucking way.
I'm just telling you what I heard. So multiple soldiers are under investigation. This is a couple years ago now. Multiple soldiers are under investigation for indiscreet activity while in uniform, specifically posting photos of themselves wearing dog-themed bondage masks while in uniform. Many of which first appeared on social media on December 9th depict male soldiers in uniform and parts of uniforms wearing dog masks, leather, and chains. Some of them photos depict poses of submission and sexual acts. Other photos shows a soldier in combat fatigues wearing dog mask in an airfield. Yeah, so it's conduct unbecoming. That's what I just saw that. Where did I see? Yeah, there it goes. The UCMJ covers conduct unbecoming and states an Army commissioned officer, cadet, or misshapen or midshipman who is convicted of conduct of unbecoming of an officer and gentleman shall be punished as in court-martial may direct. So they're saying that like the response to it was a hyper-politicized photo, like is hyper-politicized, pretty much saying that they could. But yeah, like this kind of shit does not fly. This is a colonel, full bird colonel doing this.
Yeah.
It's like, sir, you are a fucking full bird colonel commander wearing a fuck mask. Like, come on, man. And like I said, no shame in doing whatever the fuck you want to do in your own time, but don't do it in uniform. How hard is this to understand? Why is it demonized for that to even be an opinion? Not even an opinion. Why is that even like why is it bad for someone to even say that? Like, hey, do what you do, just don't do it in uniform. It's like, well, why can't I? I'm like, for the same fucking reason you can't talk to the media in uniform. For the same fucking reason that you can't talk about the president of the United States at all. The government owns your ass. You know, you are not you. You are not the property of you. You're government property. Like it or not, that's what you signed up for. Your government property. You are at the whims and the desire. You're at the whims and the needs of the fucking government.
You know, speaking of government property, I don't know why this is in my head. You were talking about your VA claim earlier. You should claim erectile dysfunction.
I thought about it.
Prove me wrong.
I'm actually considering going to see a urologist to get some evidence gathered. Say that like my injuries I sustained to my back have caused like, and I've got pinched nerves. It's caused issues. It's not entirely true, but I mean, fucking, I'll get like Viagra prescribed, like fucking dick pills for no reason. Hell yeah, dude. So,
I mean, it's not like a magic boner pill.
Trust me, I know. I know it's not a magic boner pill. There's no such thing as a magic boner pill.
Correct.
But,
you still, it assists. It's like waking your guy up, like, hey, let's go to work.
Nice
Come
little
on.
slap to the face where it's like, hey man, you got fucking fire guard.
You got watch, bitch.
You got watch, motherfucker.
Get your ass up. I'm like, all right.
Okay, fine.
It's like, I'll get there. That's a great example.
It really is.
That's a great analogy of what Viagra is in a military sense.
Yeah, Viagra is basically a pill that slaps your dick and says, you got watch, buddy. So.
Yeah. Get your ass up.
Wake the fuck up. All right, well, we have a meeting to go to. So
about said podcast, though, we're doing.
About said podcast, so good things, big things, hopefully in the near future, so.
Like the video.
Subscribe to the video. Thanks for hanging out with us today. That was all we had for you.
Put something in the comment. I don't fucking care what it is. Fucking put it in.
Hopefully more things coming down the pipe. The next week will be a little bit better. We'll try to maybe get a guest on. We might actually have to cave in and just let Blake come back without mandatory fun day.
I refuse.
We're really going to stick with that, huh?
He's banned until he fulfills his commitments.
There's also another thing that someone suggested that I kind of like the idea of, where we do an episode where we talk to the staff members.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I think it'd be an interesting one. Trying to figure out how I'd get it to work for this though. So we'll see.
We could only do a couple of staff members at a time.
Yeah, we can only do a few. It couldn't be all of them. It would be chaos.
That would be ridiculous.
We can't even get them to fucking stop talking over each other 90% of the time. Let alone fucking have every single one of them in there to shut the fuck up while we're, doing podcasting where it's like, hey, one at a time, please. Because we'll have like 10 people just talking over each other, like a bunch of weirdos.
Imagine one audio line where you're hearing 9 voices overlapping each other. Sounds wonderful.
I've done it with 6. It is hell. It is pure hell to listen to. It absolutely is. It's chaos. There's just so many people talking over each other, and and like getting them to understand that, like, hey, we're doing this for the listener, and it's going to be a very hard thing to listen to when everyone's talking over each other, because no one's going to want to listen to like 5 people saying shit over each other. It's rough. So that's going to be something we're going to be looking into. We're going to try to get Tim from Grunt Style, the CEO of Grunt Style, on. That's probably going to happen after the rebrand. I'm hoping
COO.
COO. Is he COO?
Chief Operating Officer.
Oh, so he's COO. Hopefully this rebrand happens in the next few weeks. I'm guessing that's completely plausible given the fact that we have a graphic more or less done. So we'll see. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your week. We will see you on the next episode of The Smoke Pit, or who knows if we're calling it something else at that point. So love y'all. Have a good one.
Drink your water.
Bye.